Let's compare the Garmin VivoActive 6 versus Garmin Instinct 3 and see which one is actually the better watch and which one should you actually get. So first, when it comes to price, they're actually very similar priced. For example, Garmin Instinct 3 can be purchased for around 380 euros, while for this one a few days ago I paid 330 euros, so there isn't that much price difference between them. But actually the Instinct 3 will hold the value much better than this like VivoActive. So maybe if you want to keep your watch only for a year or two and then sell it, you will actually maybe get basically better value out of this Instinct 3, as you'll be able to get actually more money back. So again, this Instinct 3 might actually end up costing you less. So when it comes to the design, they actually obviously have completely different designs, and you see basically the thickness and size, yeah, probably is the biggest difference between them. So as you can see, the Instinct is literally almost like 2 times thicker. Well, not 2 times, but again 1.5 times, I guess, thicker essentially. As well as the overall, again, size, you can see it's basically absolutely huge difference. And this, for example, what the Instinct would look like on a wrist. So it's actually like decent sized watch. It's not too huge. By the way, this is a 45mm version. They also come with 50mm ones. And obviously this is that memory pixel display. They also have the AMOLED displays. So, and this is what the small guy essentially looks like on your wrist. So if you actually want a very small watch, then this is actually very hard to beat, because I absolutely love the size of it, and you can't even tell most of the times that you actually have it on. Whereas this one, if you use it for maybe sleep tracking, then you can definitely notice that you actually have this watch on. So I guess probably the biggest advantage of this smaller guy is essentially maybe for sleep tracking. So at night, basically, it doesn't disturb you as much, and it's obviously much smaller watch. When it comes to the build quality, I would say the Instinct definitely is better. This VivoActive 6 essentially feels kind of cheap a bit. So obviously it's also built to be like very small, tiny and very lightweight. So also that's why it feels kind of cheaper. But also these straps, also when you actually compare them side by side, basically when you touch and basically when you wear them, you can definitely tell that the strap on the Instinct definitely is a higher quality strap. So again, so yeah, this obviously feels like a much cheaper watch, and generally I do not think it's actually worth the price charging for this one. For example, the Instinct still is very overpriced in my opinion, but again, if you want a watch like this, yeah, basically if you can get a good deal, I think it's worth it. But again, this one, I think the real worth on this is like maybe 100 to 150 euros. So when I should look at the build quality, specs and what it has, so it is what it is. So again, basically long-term value, again, this will hold it much better. So, and the overall build quality, again, I would say it's better basically on the Instinct, and again, overall long-term durability also will be better on the Instinct essentially. So when it comes to the weight, let's check it. So for example, this one, okay, 36 grams, I'm not sure if you can see, and this Instinct 53, so there is actually considerable difference, but again, this is still kind of lightweight watch. And next, when it comes to the display quality, then again, Instinct actually, yeah, destroys this watch. So the Instinct has this memory pixel display. They obviously also have AMOLED displays. I'm not sure how good their AMOLED displays are, but this is absolutely perfect watch. So this has been my daily watch for like past 3 months essentially. So this is what I'm wearing essentially. So I got this only a few days ago, and yeah, the display definitely is much better. Obviously, this is always on display. So like true always on display, and the visibility is absolutely superb on this watch. And again, this display doesn't drain any energy whatsoever. If you enable always on display on this one, it's yeah, basically like yeah, it's basically like regular display that simply stays on and drains a lot of battery. So yeah, it won't give you like good battery life if you actually enable the always on display, unlike this watch essentially. And also the display quality on this VivoActive 6 also feels kind of cheap, and so considering how much watch this cost, the colors actually do not look that good. And again, also we have an extremely huge bezel on this watch, So other watches at this price, yeah, do not have such huge bezels. So the display, I think it's kind of weak point on this watch. Well, it's not a terrible display, but again, it's not a premium display essentially. So it's just like regular cheap smartwatch display essentially. But again, the price of this watch isn't cheap at all. And obviously also Instinct display has solar charging as well, so yep, you can actually basically leave it in the sun and it will recharge itself, essentially giving you pretty much unlimited battery life if you do not use your flashlight much. So it's that good actually. And next, when it comes to functions and usability, then again Instinct is better. First, Instinct actually has got a dedicated flashlight. So you double press and you can turn on the flashlight and also change the brightness on it. For example, the flashlight on this one, it's absolutely ridiculous. Let me show you basically. So as you see, it doesn't even illuminate the whole screen. So what the hell is this kind of stupid design? So on any like these smartwatches, these displays, basically the whole screen gets illuminated and you get good brightness. But from this one, you do not get any brightness at all. So this is complete. Yeah, it's the worst design basically on the flashlight. Whereas the flashlight on this, yeah, is dedicated flashlight and it's probably like 100 times brighter. So I'm not kidding, like literally 100 times brighter than on this one. And the flashlight really is my most used feature actually on this watch. Then also this watch actually has got more buttons, so only 2 buttons on this one, whereas 5 buttons on this one. So you can control everything very easily with the buttons. So basically the biggest advantage of this is, okay, so apologies. Anyway, on both watch you can also like kind of receive your call notifications if someone is calling you. So the advantage of the like buttons is you can easily use your watch with wet hands. So if you have wet hands, you can't really use this watch much. Or also if you have gloves. So in winter time, yeah, you have to take off your gloves essentially to be able to use this watch. Whereas this one, you simply do everything with buttons. And also like launching some things basically is much faster on this watch as well compared to this one. So again, it's more thought out. Whereas this one, you kind of have to go in the menus. Well, it's not that bad, but still, yeah, basically the function-wise and usability, everyday usage, yeah, it completely destroys this watch essentially. But when it comes to rest of the functions and like health tracking stuff, they're pretty much equals. So they both do pretty much the same job. For example, as you see, both actually has got NFC wallet, so you can pay with this watch in store. Another advantage for the VivoActive is it actually has got internal storage of 8 GB. On this watch, as you can see, I can load in music and listen to music if I have like speaker or headphones or earphones in range basically. On this one we actually can't load in music, which is kind of ridiculous, so why they're limiting that, no idea really. And also this doesn't have Spotify app as well. This also has Spotify app, which is cool. But the rest of the features really, I would say they're pretty much the same. So both have this heart rate tracking, resting heart rate, also like body battery, HRV, sleep score, okay, and also nap detection. Both watches have actually. So also VO2 max. So let me show you basically what we can actually get here. So these are pretty much functions you can add. And yeah, but when it comes to health tracking features, basically, maybe the Instinct 3 in some areas is tiny bit better. So it has tiny bit more like health tracking features. So let me show you what this has. But again, for most parts they're pretty much similar, so there isn't that much difference. Both has the VO2 max, and yeah, like health tracking features, I would say they're the same. And when it comes to the sensors, both watches also has the same sensor, so the generation 4 Garmin heart rate sensor, and currently is the generation 5 sensor is already out, but they haven't included it in any of these watches. So from my testing, basically the heart rate performance basically on both watches are the same. So since they also have literally the same sensors essentially, so when you wear them, So there isn't really much difference at all basically between these watches. However, advantage of the Instinct watch is that it actually has got like better GPS inside. So it has dual band. I'm not sure if this has dual band. I do not think it has dual band GPS. Essentially, the lock times are actually faster on this watch from my experience. So when I tested both side by side, but still the GPS still is decent on this watch. I can't complain much. But obviously, if you compare them side by side, you can definitely see that the GPS responsiveness and also how it tracks, basically very fine details, is slightly better on the Instinct. Also, what's great, both these watches actually now have this backtrack function as well, even this VivoActive 6. I do not think the VivoActive 5 had that function. So essentially, as you can see, you have the backtrack function. Essentially, if you get lost somewhere, you can essentially launch this, and basically it will show you where you need to go and the path you need to take to actually get back to track. So obviously you need to walk some time, and same on this one. Oh, actually the backtrack function is better on this one, since you can actually also see your nearby cities essentially. I'm not too familiar with actually, yeah, but basically it shows actually your like nearby cities basically, so where your nearest city is. On this one we actually can't see it, so this kind of has like mini tiny mapping system inside. Obviously it's not full-blown maps, but again it's better than on this one. And finally, when it comes to the battery life, Instinct 3 also completely destroys this watch. First, obviously, we have solar charging, so you can kind of get unlimited battery if you have enough sun. Yeah, basically gets exposed to that. But also the like standard run times on this one, I think in specs it says like 11 or 12 days, whereas on this one like 25 or 30 days, something like that. But in real life you can expect to get like 20 days on this one, so without sun, and if you aren't using your flashlight, but you are actually like using decently your watch, so that's what I'm kind of getting on it. So but if I do not use a flashlight, if I use a flashlight, then obviously the flashlight can drain your whole battery in like a bit over 3 hours. So yeah, kind of have to be careful with that. On this one, if you do not enable the always on display, you can indeed actually get maybe those 10 days or even a bit more if you maybe disable some sensors. But with the always on display, I'm not sure how much exactly, but maybe like 5 days, something like that, maybe, yeah, not exactly sure, but again, it's much less, obviously. So battery life, yeah, Instinct completely destroys this one. Also, when it comes to the GPS battery life as well, this is much better as well. So I think this had like 28 hours of GPS tracking, something like that essentially. I'm not exactly sure. On this one it was maybe around 20 hours, something like that essentially. So maybe not 2 times as much, but still like huge difference even in GPS like runtime as well. So overall, which watch should you actually get? Well, unless you can get this watch for really cheap money, like I mean like $150, I mean I think that's what this watch actually is worth it when you actually look at the build quality and what it has. So I do not think this watch actually costs much them to make, so maybe I have no idea how much it costs them, but I imagine maybe like $20 to $30 to produce this watch, looking at other watches basically. So again, it's obviously a cheaper watch and it's overpriced like absolutely crazy. So it's definitely not worth like 330 euros for what I paid for it essentially. So if you can get it for like 150, maybe, yeah, then it's okay. Obviously, it's also obviously a much smaller watch. So if you want to use it for sleep tracking, then it's actually, yeah, like really decent. But this one, again, the normal price was like 400 euros. I still think it's overpriced at that. So I think like good price would be like 250 on it. So like what I would pay again for this one, looking at the features and functions and the competition, what competition is offering, I would actually pay like 250 euros basically after using this watch. I think that would be a reasonable price, a good price essentially on this watch, where you do not feel like you are getting scammed essentially, but still, yeah. On this one, I wouldn't really pay more than like, personally, like more than 100 euros, I wouldn't pay for that. So again, the build quality is kind of cheap, battery life is worse, functions is worse. So it feels like a cheap watch essentially. So it's highly overpriced in my opinion. This one is still a bit overpriced, but again, I think it's worth. So we have solar charging, flashlight. I mean, it's absolutely great watch. So absolutely love it. This one, I mean, it's, yeah, it is what it is. Still a good watch if you want basic health tracking in very compact form. I think it's excellent, can't really beat it. Oh, also the system reliability also is better on the Instinct. This one, even though it's better than the past Garmin VivoActive 5 I had. So VivoActive 5 I had was very laggy and it hanged up all the time. This also sometimes has some stutters and also has hanged up already on me few times where I had to restart it essentially. So it's not like it's totally good. But on this one I haven't really had any problem whatsoever so far in these months I have used it. So I have used this for 3 months, whereas this one only for a few days, and it has already given me quite a lot of problems essentially. So, and to sum it up, if I had to purchase both watches again myself, I would definitely get the Instinct, there is no question about it. This one I only really purchased because to make videos about it. So, but personally, yeah, there is no way I would pay this kind of money for this watch. It's definitely not worth it. It literally feels like a cheap kid's watch essentially. So the price I charge for it is absolutely crazy. Anyway, good luck.